2, 1.
Perfect. Hey, Joey. Hey, Joey, introduce yourself for the camera.
Hi, everybody. This is Joey Gill of High Concept Publicity and Productions, former CBC radio reporter, journalist, and PR consultant who works from everything from non-for-profits to heads of state like the president of Guyana, business to business, and B2C brands, including PR agencies and marketing agencies across North America and now globally.
Okay. Yeah, so Joy, my name is Ryan. I run a software company. We have 40 employees. We make software for startups and businesses. So that's my main business. And then I also run recruitment as well. So I can get people who are like $3 an hour, $1 an hour to do remote recruiting and work our time zone. So I run that as well. And then I run fractional dinners every month to meet other fractionals. And I'm part of a bunch of startups as CTO. That's a little bit about
the fractional dinners. I heard about the fractional dinners from another gentleman who's a fractional. Is Mitch, and I can't remember Mitch's last name.
Yeah, Mitch Conway.
He's
Conway.
He's a fractional CMO, and I think Eden introduced me to him. You know Eden Spodok, Joey. So and I heard about the dinners, and when I talked to Ryan about it, it's so Joey's coming to us from Mexico right now. He's 6 months here, 6 months in Mexico. 6 months here being you're in Toronto, right, Joey?
That's right.
So is Ryan in Toronto. So he's not going to be coming, but the way that Ryan explained it, they're so well organized. He actually has people, finds out what your title is, what your role is, and he seats people according to your role. So you're always sitting with somebody different, and he mixes up during different courses. So I'm going to check it out on February 25th, and a couple other members are going to go down there. But I've heard really good things from Mitch about it. So it's something when you're back in TO, he does it in Toronto and Burlington so far. I think that's the
Yeah, sure. So I've been doing public relations and former CBC radio reporter for about 20 something years. You mentioned tech. So I've just signed a contract with a Saudi ed tech company to sort of take them to the next level and introduce them to the MENA area as well as North America and Canada. I've worked with green technology, vehicle to grid kind of stuff. That's the kind of things I'm interested in. Several startups and sort of figure out a PR strategy and how to get people to watch and listen and to read. So that's what I do.
Perfect. Excellent. So Ryan and Joey knows already. This is an open office hour. You guys could drop in and out. You don't have to stay the whole time. I use it to just kind of to show if you've never been involved in the group at all. I'll give a little walkthrough, explain what it's about. Like, so new members, like Joy, if you know a new member that's a good fit, instead of doing those one-on-one calls I used to do, I'm going to have this 1 hour, data 1 hour, and then maybe I'll have 3 or 4 people at the same time come in. So for me, that's a lot easier to do basically than trying to establish times that work for them and just one-on-ones. Okay, I'm going to share screen now. And that's what I want. And just kind of walk you through it. And just let me know if that is okay in terms of the view, big enough and whatnot.
Yeah, this looks good so far. So again, the app is done through Google Play Store. Like, I'm going to get this on my phone, or is this desktop version? Like,
it has both. It has both. It has an app version. Like, this is really junior, but I'll show you the app version on my. So you can. I don't know if you can see that. So there's the old. It's a heart with a circle kind of thing. So it's called Heartbeat.chat, and and it like I can control if it's really starting. So it's pretty amateur, but I can control what's showing up on the screen. So I just pick up threads and whatnot that can show on the screen, stuff that makes sense on the phone. So you'll probably do most of the stuff on, like if you're doing threads and stuff, you can do it on your phone. I've done it. It's pretty easy. But other things, like if you're adding events and stuff like that, you might not want to do it. Right now, I'm the only one adding events. I'm just trying to control that until I kind of get my feet wet and see what that's like. But eventually, I wouldn't mind handing that over to, hey, you got an event. I kind of trust you. You post it, and it's relevant to everybody. So Ryan, when you have new events every quarter, you'll probably do that. In the beginning, I'll just help you do it until I get a good feel for it, though. So I'm going to show you a couple of different screens. If you're logged in new member, this is the first screen you get. It's called the intros. To get here, when you're a new member, and I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. Pardon me, my demos are terrible until I get kind of the hang of it. Where is this thing? I'm looking for. No, sorry. And so I'm showing the whole back end, just dropping my pants and showing the whole thing here. But what I'm trying to do is find the link. Oh, here's copy link. Okay. And then I'm just going to open up and I'll just show you. I'm going to show you this mostly, Joey, if you haven't signed up already, Ryan's already been in. Just what it looks like. So you're going to get a link that has this QR code at the end of it, right? And if you want that link, you can just go to my website on the network page, and I'll share that with you afterwards. And it's in, you can also get to it in the signature of my email too, if you ever lose track of it. But this is what it looks like when you first come to the site. It's going to, oh, no. Oh, yeah, perfect. It's going to
I
take
think
you
we see
to
the offer page. I don't think we see the actual, we see the offers page. We don't see
sorry.
the,
Let me stop sharing. Yeah. And just share the window instead of, I thought I was sharing a window. Oh, you know why? Because I'm in incognito. That's why. Different window. Gotcha. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that. So it's like, what the heck is going on there? What are you showing me? I don't see this. Anyhow, so I'm just incognito because otherwise they'll just log me in. This is kind of like the first page that a lot of people get to. It's for whatever reason, a few people get kind of, okay, it's money. And now what do I do? Get a little bit tripped up on this. It's pretty straightforward though. Stripe runs in the background. So it'll take whatever payment wherever you are. It'll convert even if you're, Mexican peso or whatever. Not that you're going to pay that way, but whatever way you do it, you could choose monthly or annually. It's going to be recurring, whatever. So if you're not sure, you could just try out. Only try a month, and then I would, if you are sure, I would go for the yearly. It knocks 2 months off the price, kind of thing. So that's the one entrance. I'm gonna probably have to stop sharing again once I close that. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to go to, I'm going to go back into the app and show you where we go. One sec. Okay. So once you log in, you go through a bit of an onboarding process and Ryan's already been through this, so he knows.
Right.
I could set this up to anything, but for now, I'm thinking about from the community perspective. Like, we're a bunch of experts. We work, we collaborate with each other. We want to be able to refer each other. So I'm asking questions that kind of helps that process out. Hey, what's your business name? Each one of these on your when you're initially going in, you can update this later, but when you're initially going in, each one of these is like 144 character, kind of like a tweet, basically, right? So that's why I've got so many of them. So what's your business? What products and services do you offer? As many as you want to list there, Joy. I know you gotten to an art of it with Upworks and whatnot. What's your unique business value, your value proposition, kind of thing? And then tell us about your ideal customer profile. Again, that's from a referral perspective. Like, hey, Joey, I like you. Right. I know what you do. Who should I refer you to, kind of thing, right? And what type of businesses do you collaborate? That's like working with us. Okay, well, I work with graphic designers. I work with people. I work with this. So that again helps those in the group understand, oh, okay, I can work with Joey, right? The whole thing, if you remember, when I first got started in this, I was coming from an agency background, I had a full team behind me, and I was doing business development. When I went out on my own, I'm like, oh crap, I got no team behind me anymore. What do I do, right? So I'm trying to, like, a lot of people within the group, and Ryan does this as well, a lot of people in the group operate like I'm an agency, but I have no employees. Everybody on my team is collaboration. So I'm thinking about that for everybody within the group. And heck, what if you're going to work with somebody, you must work with somebody you trust and know, basically, right? So the last thing, the last thing I add in there is what city you're located in, and that's a little bit for the in-person meetings, but also just like, where the heck are you? Like, from a get to know you better thing, right? That all goes into, that's the back end. I said all that. It kicks into the intros and automatically sets up an intro for you. So you can go fill your profile and exit, you're good. Just make sure when you're doing that, go pay profile. The last thing you got to do is a code of conduct questionnaire that you just have to accept. And it's a default thing for Heartbeat. I added a little bit to it in terms of what's the focus of our group, which you've seen through some of the emails that I've sent to you recently. But if you notice, a couple of people go into a pending state, I'll notice that and I'll bug you. Hey, Joy, you didn't quite finish. You got to accept the code of conduct, or I can't really tell what's missing. Like, it could be your profile's not finished. Could be you haven't checked that code of conduct. A few people have gotten caught like, oh shoot, I didn't hit the code of conduct, so I didn't get it. It's like it's not a big thing. But when you do, you go in here, like here's Linda's recent one, and all those questions, boom, boom, boom. there's a quick intro, right? So you remember how I used to do those emails and send out, hey, here's Joey, here's what he does. Completely helpful for everybody, super pain in the butt for me because it's just a lot of work, right? So this does all that for me within the group. And then everybody gets a notification. Like the other thing is you set your own notifications. If you leave it for the default, I think it does email and in-app notifications. So the next time you come, you'll see this little, bell up here, and you can click on that. I can see, different things that are coming up. Or you'll get an email about it. And there's a few people that complain like, oh, I'm getting these emails all the time. Every time a new member comes in, right? You can go and change that in your notifications. So if you click on your face, it's going to look different than mine. You can go and set up your notifications. Like I want email notifications or whatever. Like you can control the pace of it. You can even, I think I've set it up so it does like a 1 week summary of what's going on. I think that gets sent to everybody, I think. So if you can take off all the notifications and get that 1 week. It depends what you can tolerate. Like my big thing about this is I wanted to not add noise. I just wanted to add good information. That's why I got rid of that LinkedIn group and other things like that. So I feel like that kind of handles that. So that's the intros, and you could pop in and say hello to whoever's there. The other so there's a few threads. I can add as many as I want, but when I was researching this, a lot of them said, look, keep it really tight because otherwise the conversations get too spread out. And I feel like it might get to a point where there's too much noise, especially if you got somebody who's a little bit active all the time and others aren't. So I just kept it for 3 different rooms, and I may add others later. I may take them away. We'll see how it goes. This announcements I'm going to use for, there's an events portion of this as well, but I'm also, it's like a second hit. Hey, there's an event coming up. Or, when we did, like Vanessa's doing an in-house, an event in March 19th in Hamilton kind of thing, right? Little promo about it. You'll see, I'll take you into events later and you'll see that there. We did our first Tuesday meetup. I'm going to try to diligently record them. I'm not going to do a ton of editing. I played around with editing. I really suck at it. It's like there's chops here, I'm half here, half there. I need to get better at it. And I'm using iPhone on a computer, so it's pretty bad. So this one, I just like, you know what? It was a pretty good meeting. I'm going to leave all this stuff in there. It's really just get it up. You missed the meeting because again, the expectation is not you're not showing up for every single meeting. That's not you don't have to basically, right? So that's there for you to catch up. You can even scroll through it 3 times the speed or whatever you want. Just get the highlights. Who was there? What did they say? Kind of thing. What was it like? And then people can, if I was always told from the conversations before, hey, Rich, do we have to end in an hour? And I'm always like, yeah, like, my time, I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to queue more than an hour a day. I kind of want to keep it like that. But the thing they hinted to me at was, and Ryan, you've probably seen this, a lot of conversations happen after the event ends. Like people hang around, they have this little networking groups, and people want to mimic that a lot within the group. That's why I created the LinkedIn group, right? Because and it wasn't really happening like that. People were just taking whatever they posted in LinkedIn and double posting, and it was just like noise. So I'm thinking if you missed the meeting but you wanted to participate in afterwards, you can add to the thread. You can reply in here, carry that conversation, or somebody, we what often does, we go right to the very end, and it's like, okay, guys, now, just for the benefit of everybody, I'm going to close the call, kind of thing. That conversation can carry on in that thread theoretically. So it's those announcements. If you were at an event, you want to share that with other people and highlight. If you spoke at an event, all that stuff can be captured in the announcements. The questions thread. This is another default one that Heartbeat throws in there, but I've added a little bit more to it. Like it's like what I want to use it for is running polls. Like, hey, like for me, I did this. I tried to do this in LinkedIn and it didn't get a lot of response. Kind of got buried in other things. Like I was looking for new accounting software. There's hundreds of them out there, right? Mm-hmm. What is everybody else using? What are the guys? I tried this, didn't like this. I like this one. It's simple. It does this. So I want to just run a little poll there, get some feedback. So we can do polls like that. We can talk about, hey, maybe there isn't a bookkeeper. Like we do have accountants in our group, but maybe there's a bookkeeper. I'm like everybody. These are things that you run into once in a blue moon. But it'd be nice to know, and you want to go with somebody that's referred. Does anybody know somebody, right? So things like that. There could be even more deeper questions like, guys, I'm rethinking my pricing. I want to go. I want to try this. I've been reading a lot about value pricing. You know, I'm trying it out. Here's what I've learned. Has anybody else tried that? And like a conversation. So it's like questions to the group that like those water cooler conversations or the team conversations that we miss out on by not being a part of the team anymore. That's what I thought about that. So one of the things that came up, the group has gotten a lot, like we don't have 200 members on LinkedIn anymore. We don't have over 100 in the group, you know, because it changed the format quite a bit and then added this paywall, it's brought the numbers right down. Like we're down to 15, which is really, like on the call, it's good. Like we had a really like open call. Tell me everything about you. Tell me your challenges. That'll probably happen for a little bit until we get up to around 25 per call. And then I might look at splitting the groups again, trying to keep that number 25 and below if I can. Not that I want to discourage people from joining. I certainly want more people to join, but I want to keep that intimacy of those conversations. I just feel like this is a group where we can share with colleagues stuff you don't share with clients, stuff you don't share with subcontractors, right? And I feel like when you get too many people on the call, it's harder to do that. So that's why I keep trying to split the groups a little bit. So one of the things that came out, because there's only 15 of us, when I established the initial time, it was like random with 10 people. Hey guys, I don't want to do Mondays because Mondays are holidays. I don't want to do Fridays, same reason. I don't want to do first thing in the morning because I'm not really alert in the mornings. Can we do 10, right? And we just randomly picked it. But then we started getting people from out west joining, and it was like, 10 is like 7 in the morning for them. So I just, again, randomly chose Tuesday because it was working for us, and then I picked noon. But then other people are like, I don't know, noon doesn't work. I've got another meeting, whatever. So I opened up a poll to say, what time do you like? It works for you. And keep it in mind, some of the members of the group have kids. They get, kid pickup and whatever. Some others have other duties. And then I also asked them, what's their preferred day? Right. So I'm just getting, so these are things I will use the questions poll on, but anybody can use it. Right. So it's kind of those kind of threads. There's this other thing called voice room. I didn't launch it last one. I'm going to launch it now. It opens up like another, let's see. Sorry, I'm just paying attention while I do this because I don't want to do something. So it opens up, where'd it go? Here it goes. Okay. So do camera, and I won't do mic right now because it might get funny. And I can keep it down over here. It's over here in the corner. I can make it really big. And boom, it's an automatic video call. So you guys are seeing a video and a video. I'll just stop that. The nice thing about that, how do I get out of that? Sorry, get out. Oh, gosh, I'm still in it. Anyhow, how to stop. Rich, you have to learn how to stop the darn meetings.
Right there.
Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to keep going. Maybe we'll have that join us in the background until I can figure it out. Here. Oh, here it is. Hang up. Anyhow, so that one there is neat. So if there are other members, like right now, you can see I'm on. There's a little green dot. So I mean, maybe Mark's on or something like that. We could do an instant little conversation. Or I'm thinking about coaches in the group if they want to establish their own little, like you can make little private rooms. You can do other things. I'll be honest with you. At first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to add that. I'm going to leave it in. Let it just kind of sit there, see who uses it. The nice thing about it is you do your video call, it trashes the meeting right after. It doesn't record it. So you don't have all these loose files hanging around, and just kind of boom, you did it and it's gone kind of thing, right?
Right.
That's neat. So those are all in threads. The other things are in there is a place where we could store documents. I don't have a ton in there right now. I've got a few default. There's your code of conduct one. If you want to review it again, a lot of that's language from Heartbeat itself. I left this in there, how to use Heartbeat. And you can even say, hey, Rich, create a 5-minute video and add it here, which I'm going to take one of these calls once I get a good one, and I'm going to drop it in there once I have time to edit it and jump it in. But they have a lot of little tips about, how to do different things within Heartbeat. So I just left that in there for us to get used to. The other thing they included is this thing called an onboarding checklist. And something you can kind of just go to and say, okay, I read the code of conduct. Both of these will happen. Otherwise you won't get in. Like it automatically posts in intros. And then matchups is another thing I'm going to show in a little bit, but it talks about that and RSVPing for events. Just because I mentioned matchups, I'm going to go there next and bounce back. So matchups is a neat thing. I honestly haven't figured out if this is me setting it up on my own or if everybody sees that. Ryan, I'll get you to check this. You're already logged in. Do you see matchups as well? And I'm going to, that thing's pumping away. I'm just going to leave it. What it does is it allow us to configure matchups. Like, so say you're busy, like we all are, up and down like this, right? We hard business development, no business development because we're too busy, hard. The matchups things, it randomly chooses a match for you as a member, and you set the timeline. It's like, okay, I want to do this once a month. I want to do it once a week or bi-weekly or whatever you want to do. You set your own matchups, and it automatically sends you and whoever it matches up a little here. This is Joy. It uses your bio, introduces you, introduces the other person, announces that you've had a matchup, and then leaves the rest to you, but encourages you guys to have a meeting, right? So that's one of those things where I've always found the one-on-ones really valuable for our group.
Yes.
Like everybody tells me they do them, but I hadn't been taking advantage of them because I've been so busy running the group, right? So I set mine up, and I figure this could be something you just do. You let it go on the side, and instantly you're doing your due diligence. It's doing it for you, and you're meeting people in the group. So that's a kind of a neat thing. Members is pretty obvious. You can it just gives you a little synopsis of who everybody is in the group. I've always wanted to keep this fairly light, right? Like this is just Joy. I was talking to Joy. What does he do again? Oh, there he is. Or I was talking to this guy. He's a PR guy. Can't remember what he does. This gives you a little synopsis. If you noticed, I've included a link to your LinkedIn page, a link to your website, and your calendar if you want to include that. So this is not intended to repeat everything. Oh, let me copy my website on here. Let me copy. This is like a light. Hey, here's me. Here's who I am. Here's all the detailed information. Again, trying to reduce noise, trying to make your life simpler. But this is kind of handy if you're, want to meet with Danielle to talk about something. There's a calendar. For those that have listed, and not everybody does, like Tracy doesn't have hers. Ryan's got his website, doesn't have his LinkedIn post. But it's whatever you feel like sharing, basically, right?
Sure.
The last one I'm going to walk through is this thing called events. And this is where I'm the only one that has access to post it. But you remember people would say, hey, Rich, can you share this with other people in the group? I'm going to keep doing that for a little bit until I get a feel for, okay, I feel comfortable handing it over. And then I'm going to let everybody else just manage that on their own. But it's a nice little synopsis of what's going on. You can look at it as an agenda, or you can look at it monthly just to see what the heck is going on. You can click on those different events. I like the agenda myself better. But I'm running everything in there, and it's, it just helps you. So you could join the ones you want to join and not join others. I can do these events when I set them up. They got 3 different ways to set them up. One's, I can't remember the exact name. One's called Heavy, where it automatically adds everybody as a member, everybody they want to, puts it in their calendar, sends them an email, notifies them in the app itself. There's a mid one where I could just do emails everybody about it, but only the ones that RSVP gets it added to the calendar. And the lightest one is just a notice within the app. I've been using the middle one most often because I feel that's a little less intrusive, but we'll weigh in and ask people how that thing goes when they do. Oh, Linda's just joining. I'm just going to let her in here, guys. But she comes in okay. So that is, in essence, hey, Linda, how are you?
Good. How are you? Hi,
Good.
everyone.
Ryan and Joy, I'm just going to stop sharing here and put Linda on the spot because usually, no, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Linda's so good at working on the spot. Anyhow, Linda, introduce yourself to Ryan and Joy. Just to give a quick little intro, just so everybody knows who everybody is on the call.
Oh, thank you, Richard. That's very kind of you. And I don't know why my camera zoomed in on me. Google has a camera that zooms in on you. I was like, hi, I'm Linda. My expertise is in sales and business development. I spend a lot of my time, not exclusively, but a lot of my time is on fractional sales leadership. So I take a role within a company on a part-time basis, leading their sales team. That gets into, setting up the sales plans and strategy, making sure there's either a CRM or CRM adherence, conducting one-on-ones and sales team meetings, trying to get to know the team so that they trust me and build solid relationships with them. I also do some coaching of a couple of CEOs. I run a sales leader. I don't know if you know this, Richard. I run a sales leader peer group. So yeah, and
we gotta talk about, if you feel comfortable. Your price is a lot different than mine, but we could people that run their own group. I thought about allowing them to bring as long as they're target audience kind of matches our target audience, let them run a group in here. We can even make it a private group if you want, like take advantage of the apps, and you could set your own prices for it. I would, and Ryan's going to understand this. I would take a scrape off of that to cover my costs, but that would be something. The advantage is like you got an app that you're already using, and boom, you got a private place for your group. I would then also give them access to the group itself, so it'd be a nice little extra for them. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a peer group, mastermind group. We meet in person every month for half a day. We help them with their issues and challenges. They do presentations on their businesses. So it's a little bit of a different, and they're not in industries where this, like some of them are running $90 million company, like the sales of $90 million sales within their company. One of them, she was responsible for like over 100 million in sales. So it's a little bit different in terms of the purpose of the group. It's really more of a kind of mastermind type thing. But no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. So
I love that. I've heard about your group, but I haven't heard it in that many details. So
yeah, there's a little bit on my website on it, Richard. But yeah, it's more like I'm affiliated with CEO Global Network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I remember that.
It would be more in line with they tend to mentor and have peer groups of CEOs. And then they have a couple of groups of senior executives like heads of operations, HR, finance. So it's more that type of a model. It's my own. I've had it for about, I think it's 8. Is it 8 years this year? It's almost 8 years that I've had the group. So yeah, it's more around building a network of trusted colleagues who are in non-competing industries that can help each other with issues and challenges. Yeah, that's a big part.
We should, if you're willing to do a little bit of a once in a while test run with some of the group members, because there's been a few, like Adam was mentioned. Well, you heard Adam, you were on the call Tuesday, right? Adam was mentioning he started that new product, doesn't know the sales. So not to give away your service, but maybe it could be a little introduction to your service or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
No, and I'm down for that because I think it does us well in our as solopreneurs to be known and for people to have experience working with us. And I'm, like I always say to groups, and I think I said it on Tuesday, that I'm happy to talk to anybody about sales. I'm not the kind of person that starts the clock. I'm not a lawyer. I don't start the clock. I'm happy to just, if someone needs 20 or 30 minutes of my time just to run a few things by me and get a few of my ideas or thoughts, or I'm happy to do that. So yeah, I mean, I've got the time right now. It's slow. I think I was saying to the group on Tuesday, it's slow right now for me, which is weird when you're a salesperson.
It's the time of year though. I think you're going to ramp up at the fall, and then there's a bit of a linger. I do a lot of sales as well for Northern, so I kind of, it was a little bit more obvious the cyclical nature of it, but the market's kind of changing a little bit. You met Joey before, right? Have you met Joey?
I think so. Joey definitely, name and the face is familiar, and I'm even wondering if I met Ryan at some point.
Playing for media.
The thing I like about Joy that's different, we have a lot of PR people in the group, but nobody does the media relations. I don't know why, Joy, but every PR person I met is really intimidated by that part, and that's a huge part of it.
It is, because listen, it's about media. So I just had a client on CTV, The Social. The strategy was clear. I did a video call with her and I went, "You're amazing. You're great. And you're made for TV." And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to make you a star." And I was laughing. I'm like, "No, I will." So then I had her record a number of topics that were very good for the TV show. And then The Social flew her in, and she's now their in-house travel expert resident. And Nicaragua Tourism just contacted her and said, "We'd like you to be our spokesperson." So awesome. Yeah, media relations comes to that, is like to talk the language of producers, to talk the language of an assignment editor or an editor for the Toronto Star. It's reflecting neurolinguistic programming, some of the language back at them, so they understand you're talking their language as it is.
Yeah, that's a great story, Joey. That's fun.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was so good. And it was so successful that unfortunately I'm happy to share this. I'm no longer on retainer. And that's okay, because the strategy worked. So I take it as an absolute compliment. They're like, "No, we are coasting. We can't keep up with PR. You've got the wheel going and we're happy." And please, Ryan, jump in and tell us, Linda, a little bit about what you do.
Thanks, Joy.
Yeah. Yeah, so Linda, so I run a software company where we make software for startups and businesses. So web apps, mobile apps, and AI solutions. I also got on TV as well. I wrote a book on AI for business. So I did that as well. And I also do recruitment. So I can find people for $1 to $3 an hour Canadian and work our time zone for any remote tasks you want, like VA and stuff. And I run fractional dinners like every quarter in different places. So I want to bring together all the fractional leaders, consultants to meet other people who are the same job title, the level. So then there's a better chance that you will find a partnership or referrals amongst that. And I'm part of a few startups as CTO. So that's
Wow.
So
really
that's
me.
the Ryan is the Ryan Wong that is doing that event on February 25th that I posted in the group.
Yeah, but the main goal, like the main reason I did it before was because a lot of events you go to, you have a lot of junior people go there and you don't have enough senior people, or like
Mm.
some people are very extroverted, people are introverted. You may not get the best out of it. So I try to accommodate for both. Basically, all the problems you have in an event, I kind of solved it, and you'll see like you have the contact list of who's going, so you don't have time who you should be talking to. You have everyone's contact information, so you don't have to look it up. And then if you're extroverted when you're walking around, you do very well, right? And then when you sit down, if you're introverted, you have to talk to at least 12 people that night.
I was like, oh, shoot, because my husband and I are going away for 2 weeks to the
Nice.
Bahamas, and we're going to do a week of working. So I'm actually working that week, but that won't, obviously I can't go. And then the second week we're going to take off. So we're trying to experiment working in a warm place in the winter time. We've done it a couple times, just to see.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I did that as well. I
Sorry,
was
I'm
2 years.
smiling.
Sorry,
Sorry,
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
was saying like 2 years ago, I went to Miami in February for a whole month,
Yeah.
and I went to Bahamas as well. I would actually suggest like you can rent an Airbnb in Miami, and then it's very easy for you to go on a cruise to Bahamas or Caribbean from there. You don't have to pack anything, no passport issues. You can just your home base is just in Miami, and then you just go to the.
Brian, I look forward to, the next dinner.
And Joey's joining us
Yeah.
from Mexico now, so don't feel sorry for Joey.
Yeah.
I have a friend who runs a marketing agency Dan Snow. Dan's there
yeah.
for 2 months.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
he's down there?
yeah.
Oh, whereabouts is
Yeah,
he?
I know Dan.
Do you know where Dan is? I've worked with
I
Dan.
do. I think it's Playa del Carmen. Where are
Oh, he's in
you?
Playa. Okay. I'm located just outside of Puerto Vallarta on the west coast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different
where's-
coast.
Vallarta.
Different
Are they-
coast. You just got to go across the mountains.
I'm gonna
No, I'm on the
double-check
Pacific side, Puerto Vallarta. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the other side. He's on.
I've worked with him on an assignment. It was a challenging one. We got through it. The client was
Oh,
very
good.
challenging,
He's
but
great guy.
we did the work. Yeah,
Isn't he
is.
fun? He's so awesome. Like, he's so down to earth, and yeah, I'm just trying to help him with a little bit of sales. He's got a little plan he's cooking up, so I'm trying to help him a little bit with it.
If I turn the camera around, you'd slap me. I'm looking at the Sierra Madre Mountains with
Can
the
you
sound of
please
a
turn the
river.
Please turn the camera
Okay,
around.
let me.
Can you
okay,
do that?
Yeah, yeah. Let me just get the
I do enjoy
filters
that.
off here. I'm going to try.
See.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know if
Look how remote you are.
that's.
You know what? This is
And,
ringing a bell. I think you should, in a group meeting, oh my God, shut up.
Look at that. Nice.
And there's a river down there you can't see, but it's all mint green, and I go swimming in it daily. And yeah, there's the sound of roosters and macaws and parrots, and so that's why I have the doors shut, because I'll hear anything from goats to you name it go off. It's quite funny.
Oh,
But,
that's
let me
so
just-
fun.
Yeah,
And
it's
are you
living in the jungles.
Are you Airbnb?
No, it's a place I rent. No, it's a place I rent every year for 6 months. Yeah, so I was one of the first digital nomads in 2011 when people said, no, you can't do it. And I said, watch me. So when this thing called pandemia in Spanish happened, I went, ooh, now what I've been doing is actually normalized.
Mhm. So literally you've
So
been going there since 2011 for 6, and is it 6 months?
6 months. We have 6 months as a tourist visa, free of
And,
charge for Mexico.
Is it like, what months is it? November? When do you go?
November to the end of April. Yeah. Yep. So I saw snow last year because it was a Toronto Stock Exchange event for 5 days for a client. I apparently landed in the end of March when you actually had your one and only snowstorm. And I remember cursing because my boots didn't have traction and they kept wiping out, and I ended up with bruises everywhere. And then after the event was done, I got on a plane and landed here and was like, I'm back home. But no, I love Canada in the spring, summer, and fall. 3 seasons is great. but that's, yeah. So happy to
So
share
you
tips
heard
on
about
how to be a digital
Snowmageddon,
nomad.
right? You heard about Snowmageddon last night, right?
Of course, yeah. I've got my fire stick because
800
I work
feet
in
of snow.
PR. Because I work in PR, I'm on the news every single morning. CBC, I'm streaming with my VPN. I've got my Fire Stick set to global CTV, plus my online resources. I'm watching live stuff that you're going through. So my sympathies to anyone who has to travel. It's not going to be easy.
But anyhow, when you sign in, you've done your code of conduct, you filled out your profile, bang. All that. The nice thing I like about this app is all that stuff that you captured automatically gets pushed in as your intro. So there's your intro. That's what we all see. So everything like what you filled out, we see it and it's right there. You don't have to do anything about it. So all that work I used to have to do where I met somebody new, I write an email, send it off to everybody, and then I'd get, hey, thanks for doing this, Rich. Or some people would complain there was too many emails. This thing takes care of all that. As soon as you log in, it captures your intro info, posts it to everybody, creates a profile for you with it, which you can go and edit that afterwards. If you were in a rush on a phone or something like that, you can go and edit. What you do is you just kind of, this little, your face in the bottom left corner. Can you see it? Okay, Linda, is that big enough?
I can see it. Yep. And I'm also
Okay.
doing it at the same time. So I've got it.
Oh,
pulled up
perfect.
here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So this little face of yours, I won't click on it because you're going to see my whole admin background. If you click on that, it'll take you to your account and it'll allow you to update all that information. So
Got
on
it.
a regular, the one thing I haven't figured out yet, which is on my to-do list, is for whatever reason, when you look at, like, if you look at my profile, it's everything, like, even though I got spaces in it, it kind of gets rid of them all. I've got to ask them about that. I'm trying to figure out a few bigger fires right now, but afterwards I'll figure that out and see why it does that. But that's a nice little thing. So anybody new in the group, boom, they gets posted in there. And I'm hoping everybody can kind of give them a welcome, introduce them to it. That happens automatically though. And you've seen it already, but I have an onboarding process. I can set up these questions to whatever they are. So if they didn't make sense to you, just give me some feedback on it.
Oh, I can right now. Can I?
Yeah, please.
I thought they were good. The only thing I struggled with was, and I think I may have answered it wrong, is I really liked how it walked you through all that. I struggled with, tell us about your ideal customer profile, and then what type of businesses do you collaborate with? I was struggling.
Oh, what's the difference, right?
What's the difference?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. I'm gonna have to reword that. That's it. Thank you for pointing out. So your ideal customer profile, your customers, I'm thinking collaborate, like we work together to support another customer. Now that you say that, I've seen people answer that more as their clients than like, who do you work with? It's intros. The other one. So as I was saying to these guys, and you weren't there, so I don't have to say I'm repeating myself. I'll just tell you again what I said to them. So I can create as many threads as I want in the group, but from the research that I was doing, a lot of them were saying, like, keep this small, like keep it just a few, because what we don't want to have is a bunch of threads and hardly any of them used, or a bunch of threads and they're really well used and it's confusing and noisy for people, right?
Yeah.
So I've been pretty choosy. Like, these are ones that were given to me by Heartbeat, so I figured must be pretty common. And then I just tweaked them a little. So I left the intros in. I like that as the opening page.
Yeah.
And announcements I'm using is to talk about upcoming, like, even there's an event section. I like do an extra little hit. Hey, by the way, Vanessa's doing an event. Like I posted in here. Vanessa's hosting another Hamilton in-person meetup. I'm using it for that. I'm also using it for historically. Hey, we all met on Tuesday. Here's the recording of it if you missed it, right? And the other thing is, like, you know how sometimes we get to the very end, people are still talking. You may still have a point you want to, we ran out of time. Instead of like keeping that going, and I just want to keep it always to an hour, but that conversation could continue. Like, when you see this, you go through that, you could post some more additional information on here, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking LinkedIn groups could do, but there was too much other noise in there that people just weren't using it for. So that's what that's for as well. Other things are, say you went to an event, like, for example, I'm going to go all the way down here. So Rob and Eden had an in-person event in Toronto. They sent me a picture. Thankfully, I always forget to do that. And then I posted up there, and then other people share about it. So what are other people doing? We could share that way. You could have been on a webinar, like Dorothy had a webinar. She interviewed Marta. I love this because you know how you did. So, you know, Susan Tatum, I want to say Susan Tatum. So she does all those podcast interviews. I
Yes.
I went and listened to a bunch of them over the holiday. Yours, Vanessa's, cadences, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, I've never heard Linda explain what she does so comfortably and casually. So
Wow.
I want to put more of that kind of stuff in here so we can get to know each other. But like one of the things I've been toying around with is when I meet people one on one, I'm just going to start recording them because a lot of that conversation, like, hey guys, here's Linda. Here's our quick little conversation to get to know her better, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I could just edit it to the part where she's doing her intro. So,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm thinking for announcements. You know, like here, Marta was interviewed by Manu has like a podcast that he's doing and running. He interviewed Marta on it. She posted that she was on it. So there's a lot of things that we can share in terms of announcements in there.
That's
And then
cool.
questions is going to be slightly different. So the way like questions are literally, do we have questions for the group, right? So for example, when we met on Tuesday, we're all, hey, is Tuesday a good day for you guys? Because it was a small enough group, we could ask that, right? Is the noon time pretty good time? You know, and then so right away, I was able to do a quick little poll in here. What time works best for you? And then what day works best for you? So we can use it for that. Or if you remember, I was surfing for an accounting software program. I know everybody uses them, but I was at the beginning hunting around. There's lots of choices. So I did a little poll. I said, hey guys, I did it in the LinkedIn groups. Which ones are you using? I just wanted like a little bit of comfort level. Like, and if somebody was using one I was interested in, I could maybe follow up with them. And what do you really think about that software, right? So we can use it for that. We could even use it for other things. Like we did a whole call on value pricing versus cost plus pricing versus fixed pricing. I mean, it could be like, guys, I'm thinking about changing to value pricing. Here's what I'm planning on doing. Has anybody done this? Right. So I'm really thinking like, these are like, what am I missing by not being on a team? What are those water cool conversations, cooler conversations that I'm missing? How can we reinvigorate or recast those conversations in here in a nice controllable manner? So that's what questions is. It's a little bit of everything posting for everybody. Or even I put in there, hey guys, I'm trying to go after this client. It's a really good prospect, really want to land them. Does anybody know them? Does anybody have a connection with them? Would you mind giving me a quick introduction? Right? These are the things I'm thinking of that could be questions, right? So it's pretty big. This last one, I'm not going to click on it because I did with those guys. And oh no, I did. I got out of it. No, I'll click on it. This is a neat one. So you know how we're doing a Google Meet. There's a little bit of a, you know, first I got to set it up, then I'm going to invite you, then you got to get in. There's a lot of back and forth in here. In here, they have just a voice room. So you and I could tell you're on, you're green button, I'm green. We're both on. Hey, I've been meaning to catch up with Linda. I can start a voice room. I can join it and I can invite others to join me. I can invite you to join me. I won't do that now. I'm not sure what would happen there. And then I can have cameras off. I can just do it whatever, or I can set up as cameras. And then, because I'm sharing. No, why is it doing that? Oh, that's sharing a screen. Sorry. I could share a screen in there. Hey, I want to show you something. I can have my camera going. Start video. Oh, there it is. It shows up as a little one right now, but if I want to make it big, I can do that, right? And then I can also make it just like an audio only call.
A lot of Richard.
Yeah.
That's
Richard's everywhere.
Two Richards.
So that is, come on, hang on. That is just like, at first I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna use it. But I think that as the group gets bigger, that might be a little neat thing to do. There's this thing called matchups where I could see the voice from matchups going. So matchups, I won't click on it right yet, but what it does is, you know how we get busy and we say we should be doing more networking, but it falls off, right? Yeah. This one automatically sets up. You say, you know what? I should be doing meetups with people in the group once a month. You could schedule it and it will randomly pick somebody new each month, send you both an email. Hey, this is Linda. Here's her profile. Here is Rich. Here's his profile. You guys should meet, set up a schedule of time. It just encourages you to schedule a time to do it. So I love that feature because for me, I was always like, oh man, I haven't done this in a long time. I need to do it. This automatically does it for you.
So when I clicked on mine, mine automatically said opt out.
Opt out. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Can you share your screen? Do you mind?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. Okay.
So let me
You go
share
ahead and
my
share.
screen and I'll show you what was automatically happening. So so when I came in here, it was already opt out. And since you're saying that if it's set up, and I would do monthly, I just changed it to monthly when we were talking. Will it automatically then set me up with a monthly meeting with somebody? That one actually would be good.
Let me show you mine. So you stopped showing. I thought maybe I was the one who was controlling it, but again, I'm learning this with you guys. I'm like 5 minutes ahead of you guys in this. That's about it. So it's learn by trial. Okay, let me see. So mine looks like, and maybe because I've already set up mine, I won't even be able to see it. If I go, last time I did it, okay. So mine's already set up, right? You can see that I've already had a meetup. It did one for, so that's my son calling there. I'm gonna call him back. It did one for me and Eden right away. So I've got matchups, so I can configure mine.
Yeah, if you click on that, what's it going to say?
And then it just says how often, maybe mine is different because I'm an admin. I will have to go look in the back end to see if I might need to leave you, allow you to have more permissions, but I could do mine what day of the week, what time. Do I want it bi-weekly, weekly, monthly? I did mine bi-weekly on Tuesdays, right? I figured Tuesday's the beginning of the week. And
it's kind of
members
cool.
Members. So I always wanted a database of members, and the spreadsheet thing just wasn't doing it. Like it was like, I had that guy go in and take all of them, add them to a mailing list. And I was like, come on, really? So and it felt a little clunky. I always had to update it and stuff like that. So this is just neat. There's the directory. So as it gets bigger too, we can search. So if I'm looking for a salesperson, I don't know any people. You know anybody who does sales?
No.
I can, it'll find me one. Hopefully it finds me there. So you and Tracy and Vanessa and apparently me are all potential salespeople. So that's cool when when we get more members. Then there's events, pretty straightforward. You can view it as an agenda, or you can view it as monthly. So you know what's going on, and then just click on the event to actually see a high level of it. There's a meeting link. For me, because I set up all these, well, this is a one in the past too. You would have like, you want to, RSVP, you want to join it kind of thing. You could see all the other people that are in there. Yeah. So there's that. And then the agenda view. I've posted all our meetings. So the Tuesday, I've got a recurring Tuesday revenue group one. I've got a Tuesday recurring operations one, and I've got our networking one all in there already. You could join when it makes sense for you, right?
Yeah.
And then I've also got my open office hours in there. So if you want to invite, hey, Rich, I know somebody would be good for the group, you could just send them to the open office hours. You can come with them. You can send an email to me, and it's whatever way works for you. But more than likely, I'm going to push them to, hey, let's meet during my open office hours kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I like the option to have the agenda or the calendar.
Yeah.
Then you can, I'm not sure I think I have the member networking in there. So in my calendar, can you
your
add
regular
it to your
calendar? You can apparently. If you accept the meeting, I think it sends. I haven't seen it. You know what?
I can do that for you. I can do that. For you.
I'm going to stop sharing. You show me.
Breakout rooms. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you. If I go RSVP confirmed, then I guess I should just wait and see if it shows up in my calendar.
Oh, and you just accept.
It came to my,
And can you get, and then you add it to your calendar. It also sends out emails for me automatically. Like I've got it notifying you an hour ahead and 5 minutes ahead. So it does all that automatically too. So it's pretty cool like that.
So that's good. So it's in my calendar then, right there. So I can get rid of this one. Delete occurrence. Although I've got it as a recurring in my calendar.
Oh, you just put it in for yourself to remember too.
Okay, I did. And I've got it in as recurring because I'm going to try to get to as many of these as I can. So,
and again, no pressure to do that, Linda. Like you can't make it. You can attend through the app too. So again, I'm not trying to busy everybody's life up, but just trying to make that available.
Oh yeah, no. So I understand that. I understand that.
So you drive now. You go to docs. You see right above the events, there's docs.
Okay, hang on. Got to go back there. I'm going to drive. I'm driving the bus. Docs. Okay.
So in there, and if you go, there's 3 in there. The code of conduct, if you really feel like you want to read it over again, I know it's so exciting. The other one in there is how to use the heartbeat. That's a standard document that they post in there. You can see there, but that is everything in the app basically. And if you're, so a couple of things that if you, this is something that I got to really iron out is this, hey, what if I know somebody, how do I introduce them to it? Because I'm not going to force people to have a meeting with me anymore. Like I was doing that more like, let's just be careful. Let's keep the group pretty tight. And, so I wanted to interview everybody before they got in the group. Now I'm just going to refer to you. If you're referring them, I'm going to assume they're a good member because I've done a good job of getting you in the group, right? So you could just send them a link. The other thing, sorry, Linda, click on your name.
You know what, Richard? I think that's worth pointing out to everybody again, because we may all think that anybody can join. Whereas you restating that periodically, and you have done it recently, like, hey, they got to except for the odd exception here and there, and hey, they've got to have this. I think that's worth repeating so that we don't just bring anybody in.
Yes. Yeah. There was a few members that got invited by other members that were not great. They're great people, just not a good, working relationship. Yeah. If you click on the Linda, your face down there on the bottom left, where
this one,
I can't see it. Oh, all the way to left corner, bottom left corner. So not that one. Yeah, that Linda. Yeah. You could see there. See, it says on the left-hand side in the menu, affiliate program. That's by the way, that's where you update your profile. That my account settings. But that affiliate program, hit join.
Oh.
And then put it. So this here before you put your email address in. If you use PayPal, so I pay everybody a 30% commission when you send somebody to the group because I'm not the one that created this group. It's everybody else that invited everybody in. I want to send that money back to you, right? Okay. So
I'm not even sure I have a PayPal account.
Well, you could. So what I can walk you through how to set that up. And the other one, if you click on credit, what does it say? Credit? What does that do?
Credit. Okay.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. I've never seen that one. So now, see that link right there? That's your special link. If you copy that to the right of it, you can copy it. If you send that to somebody else and they come in, it automatically lets me know this is Linda's referral.
Okay.
So even if we go through all the hoops and you send me an email, say, hey, I want you to meet Rob. He's a great guy. I meet them. They want to join. I'm likely, and I got to think this through a little bit. I want to put them back. Hey, Linda sent, like maybe when you introduce them to me, you copy your link in there. I'll send them back. Hey, go back to that thread with Linda in it. Click the join button because she's going to get, it's my way of thanking her for introducing you.
Got it.
You'll get 30% commission for an entire year for while you're there. And I pay it out monthly through PayPal, basically. So that it helps me manage that.
I can do PayPal because I'm sure I opened a PayPal account at one point.
Yeah, you can accept it there anyhow. And then you don't have to keep a balance in there, but that's something you do. It's a manual thing I'm going to do as well. So if it doesn't work, we can revisit that as well. So, but that's it. Yeah. There's notifications too there, Linda, too, under account settings on the left-hand side.
Notifications?
Yeah. Okay. So you can control how you want to be notified there.
Yeah.
I'll let you do it another time. There's a lot of choices there.
Yeah.
And billing. What does billing show for you? That's interesting.
Oh, it's got my credit card.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you could change that when you need to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my groups.
Actually, you know how I said under affiliate program and I said credit, that it maybe puts it back to my credit card.
Maybe that would be really cool. That would be cool if we could do that. That would be cool if it did it automatically and I didn't have to do anything. Okay, I'm going to tell more people if they see that option to choose that one because that would.
Well, we should play around with it. We should play with it. Yeah. I have to get somebody into the group now. Are you talking about net new people or people like if I go to Dan Snow and say, Dan, join this platform, does that count? Because Dan's already in the group.
He's already in the group, but he hasn't. If he uses your link, you'll get a credit for it. But my idea is like, I could also go back 4 years. I don't remember who you introduced to the group, but I could go back. I would like, I would like to, I just want to, it's my way of saying, hey, it's not a money grab for me. This is just to cover the cost of the app. Yes, I'm going to make a little
And
bit
your
of money on
time.
yeah, exactly. But then I want you guys to get, if you really like this group and you want it to keep going and you want it to grow, I want to reward you guys for that as well. So that's my payback.
That's fair.
The
Yeah.
last one is my groups. I haven't created any groups yet. The only one is like the one we joined. I'm going to play around with adding a group called the revenue group and the
Yeah.
operations group.
Yeah.
So that we can, because then we can target, hey, everybody in the revenue group, it's me, Linda, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm gonna look at that. I have to do a little bit more research because I added them and I took them out. I was a little bit worried, like, oh, wait a minute, am I creating a freeway into the app? So I need to figure out how that impacts the rest of things. So
Yeah.
it's a weekend thing I got to figure out basically.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think that's good. I think account settings and no, this is good. And so do you have a recommendation for like how often someone should go in here? Like, is it a daily thing? Is it a weekly thing?
I only go in when I see a notification, and I kind of
Okay,
like so again I think the default notifications is so when you get time, when you have a little bit of time, go under your name again. That was under your name. So all your stuff to control things is that bottom left corner,
Yeah.
and you can go through that and set up. I'm not expecting people to live in this thing, and I don't want it to be more work for you, right? So I set my notifications. I see a new thread, and because it's me, I want to go and say hello to people. Like I see somebody there, hey, how are you? Just make them feel welcome.
Yeah.
But we could all be doing that. So I sort of see it more like LinkedIn, the way it works. I got my notifications set LinkedIn. Every once in a while, I go check it. But I'm
Yeah.
not on there all the time, right? It's like I got to manage my own. I got a life, man. I'm supposed to be making money, just like you, right? So we can't be on there all the time. So that's another thing I was thinking of. Again, less noise, more practical functionality, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point. I'm
So-
going to have to give some thought to this, maybe play around with it.
Yeah. And you could change it all the time, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And once you do it, though, you see the top right corner where it says save changes. Just make sure it'll prompt you if you don't. When you do that.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. I didn't make
Okay.
any changes, but. Yeah.
No. I think this, like I've been talking to Sanji, Rich, man, I love the intros, but it's too much. Can you bundle them up in a week? You can actually schedule, like I've got a thing that sends you a weekly review. Here's what happened last week that you missed, Linda, right? So I've already got that happening if you only want to pay attention like that. Does it ask about a weekly review in there?
It does. Look at this. Yeah.
There you go. So you could, for all intents and purposes, I'm only gonna pay attention on Fridays, right? Like who knows, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool. This is good. Okay.
mhm.
All right. I'll play around with it.
Sure.
Thanks. Is there anything
You're
else?
welcome. I think that's all I can think of right now myself. I'm sure other stuff will come up. You can stop sharing if you wanna. There you go. But I think that's it. If you have any questions, like I'm gonna do this, even if there's nobody in the call, I'll just leave my channel open and I'll be working away. And if
Yeah.
you want to pop in at like 5:50 or 4:55, hey, I got a quick question. I'll be there, right? And
Okay.
then we can stay, like we're staying a little longer. We can do that, no problem. This to me is much more efficient for my time than like meetings all over the place. Like I was having 3, 4, 5 meetings a week, and I was like, okay, I love it. I love meeting new people, and it's very valuable for me. Like networking is a good way of prospecting, but at the same time, it was killing me. Like I couldn't do anything else, really, right?
Yeah.
So this allows me to kind of like contribute like you and be more like a member rather
Yeah.
than just the admin. So I'm really hoping it'll work out.
Yeah. And that makes sense because you can just direct them to office hours. Hey, you want to get together? This is this is the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
I'm hoping you could too. Hey, Rich has an office hours. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you the meeting invite. Join up. If you want to join, like, I mean, I don't know how, we'll have to play that out and see how it works to see what's the most effective way. Like you have to do things a few times to see what the most effective way of doing it is.
For sure.
And then I'll just keep, reminding, hey, this works better than that. And
Yeah.
everybody can benefit from it. So
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time. I think that's
you're
it.
welcome.
Have a nice
Good.
night.
Yeah. Have a good weekend. Maybe you don't go to work tomorrow because of all the snow and you've had a hard day. Who knows?
Maybe. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Bye,
Bye.
Linda.